Hello everybody, it's your old pal Tuna here and welcome back to another video. And in this week's video, we're in the studio, we're hanging out. It's not a vlog, but I did want to tell you about something that's very near and dear to my heart. Today, I want to talk to you about my planning system. Now, over the years, I've had people ask me all kinds of questions about my planner, and I've never really gone into great detail, but I am a person who is run by to-do lists. I have been running my full-time art business for about 10 years now. And running your own art business means you are handling a whole lot of stuff at exactly the same time. So it has changed a lot over the years. If you're interested in the whole history of my career, I have a video on the channel kind of going from start to finish. That sounds sort of ominous. Finish? I'm never gonna be finished. But as it stands right now, I manage about 5 different sort of tasks or jobs that I need to keep track of in my planner. So those are, I run a Patreon that has a monthly mail out package, which is around 150 to 200 people. And the package itself, I have to design 4 or more products for, in addition to several posts that I make on my Patreon for my supporters. I have a convention schedule every year of about 15 to 20 events. I think last year was 18. I also run an online shop. I take several commissions for clients, both personal and commercial. And each of those projects has their own complex web of deliverables and communication that needs to be scheduled and accounted for. And in a more general bubble, I do work for social media, content production like this. Sometimes I do in-person events like live painting, teaching classes, guest lecturing, and last but certainly not least, personal work, which also kind of falls under having a life, but that's far less important than all the work I have to do. So without further ado, let me tell you about my system, how I plan all of these things, keep myself on task, organized, and moving forward, because it might be different than you expect. This video is brought to you by the support of viewers like you, and now you can pop on over to shop.artbytuna.com where I have a buy 3 get 1 free promotion going on all of my sticker sheets just through January 24th to celebrate my birthday. Making a purchase in the shop is the best way to support the channel, and all purchases through next weekend will get a special birthday sticker as a gift. So as I start here, I want to mention that over the years, I have gone through several other systems that I won't be discussing in great detail here today. I have jumped from digital to physical. Currently, I use a combination of both, and I like to keep the system flexible. As time goes on, it changes. If something is working, I continue with it. If something is not working, I move on to something else. And I usually need to try a few things before I land on exactly what is vibing with me. It's funny because I'm taking an online course right now about managing ADHD. I don't know if I have ADHD, but I seem to have a lot of the traits of ADHD, so I thought it would be a good course for me. And they were talking about planning in the most recent session. And one of the things that they said was like, make sure you only have one planner, one source of planning so that you don't lose track of anything. And I say, bully to that. Whatever works for you, that's the type of planning system that you should use. And right now I use 4 different planner style things, and that works perfectly for me. So let's talk about them. I have a desktop calendar, I have a weekly planner, and then here on my computer, I have a to-do list on Notion, and I have a Google Sheet document with various important breakdowns and long-term planning. Now, I thought it would be fun if I first showed you my archive of planners. So I have 4 planners here that remain. This one's from 2019, this one's 2020 to 2021. Okay, Nori. This one, 2023, and this one was, I think it was 2024. That sounds right. And as you can tell, they're all very different, and I've been honing in on what it is that I like in a planner over the years. So here's, for example, some pages from this one from 2019. Here we have some of what's going on in 2020. This one's more of a to-do list, but I was using it, I'm pretty sure, as my main driver planner. And then this one, which I loved, and this one, the cats are jumping around, I'm sorry, I can't wait for them. Been waiting for them for hours, and they're still playing. This one is made by a local brand called the Regional Assembly of Text, and they are amazing. And unfortunately, when I finished this one up, which was like halfway through last year, I believe, yeah, so like in March of last year, I couldn't find any planners that were made by them because it was a little bit too late. So I did have to get this one, which is my current weekly planner, which is also almost completed. So you may be wondering, what is it that I look for in a planner? These are my personal preferences. The main thing is that it needs to be undated. And the reason for that is that In books such as this one, if you technically fall behind on something that is dated, you'll end up having to leave blank pages in your agenda, which might make you feel bad about yourself. So I prefer having it undated, so if I do, for any reason, not plan for a week, like even if I'm on holiday or something, then I don't end up wasting paper. It's also pretty important to have equally sized days across all 7 days because I don't work a regular, 9 to 5, Monday to Friday work week. I always like having some extra blank space for note-taking somewhere in the journal on the same general page as the week that I'm planning. And right now I'm really into these coil bound ones, and that's because I can leave it open, sitting open on my desk so that I don't even need to go through the process of opening my planner to see what I need to do. And this one with the top bound coil, it kind of props up like this, like the calendar, so I really like it. And like I mentioned, I had to go out of my way to find a good planner at that time of the year, and I got it from a random Japanese import store at the mall. I didn't buy it because it is Pokemon and it's super cute. I bought it because it just happened to have the perfect layout for what I needed. I also have a new one that I purchased on Temu, I'm sorry about that I wanted to use that I think is probably going to be pretty similar to this. It's a different format, but it's basically the same layout, so I'm hoping that it'll be successful once I run out of pages in this, which will just be in a month or so. So regarding my actual planning method, I admit it's going to be a little bit scattered. Sorry. Okay. Anyway. So at the start of each week, I add everything from my weekly to-do list to my daily to-do list, and the weekly to-do list is in my digital section, so we'll go over that in a minute. The boys are literally fighting in the background. I can't get anything done around here. And as well, oh my god, you guys, please get out of here. And as well, sometimes I'll add in, of course I'll add in my social engagements, and then sometimes I'll add in my food planning because it just helps me remember what I have the groceries to make in the refrigerator so that I'm not faced with another decision in the middle of my day when I'm already totally burnt out on decisions. And this changes a lot as the days go by. You can see that I've erased previous stuff when I didn't get it done, had to move it or change my plans, whatever it is. At the end of the week, the goal is just to have checked off everything on my weekly to-do list, which again, I will show you in the digital section. I also generally tend to schedule my days around my partner's work schedule because some days he's in work for 12 or 14 hours and some days he's off, and I'd rather not schedule any work to do while he's off because I know he'll be home, which is distracting, but also I want to hang out with him. And on days where he's gone all day, I know I have tons of time to get, all kinds of things done. So that's usually a good day for filming. I think when it comes to understanding your limitations of how much that you can get done in a week, that is all down to experience. This is very helpful. This is days I forget to plan and then I fill it in later. Over time, as you make mistakes in over planning your weeks, just learn from those mistakes and then adapt. So when you're doing your next week plan, you know that you are within your limitations. And if you finish everything and you have time to do more, that's better than not finishing everything. Period. So now let's move on to my desktop calendar. This is my 3rd year using a desktop calendar in a row. This one is by Kathy Lamb, also known as Dawning Crow, who is one of my favorite illustrators. And unfortunately, the drawings are all on the backside, so I never see them, but it doesn't matter. It's about supporting an artist and getting a good calendar. And this is mainly how I keep important dates in mind. So I fill them out as soon as I know that I have something, whether that's a appointment or an event or a convention or somebody is traveling or I've got a few concerts booked in here. That all goes in as soon as I know about it. It is kind of my most reliable source of am I free that day. I also put in a content posting schedule that's for Patreon and then sometimes for YouTube, even though I'm a little flexible here on YouTube. Shout outs to anybody who's subscribed to my channel. But I try to make sure that I do weekly posts for my patrons. That includes sending them updates about the merchandise that they're gonna receive in the mail and also extra goodies and digital downloads and stuff like that. So I fill in that content schedule at the beginning of the month, and as you've noticed so far, there are a few different colors that I'm using, pink, blue, and purple. Let's talk about the tools that I use while I am working with my physical planners. So I'm kind of picky about the tools that I use, whether that's in making illustrations or planning on my physical planner and my calendar, namely these 3 pens. These are Frixion pens from Pilot. That's who makes the Frixion pens, and I have these 3 colors, and why do I like them? Because they are erasable ballpoint pens. As I mentioned, a lot of this stuff is flexible, but I don't like using pencils. I really dislike graphite pencils. Sound off in the comments if you are also a graphite pencil hater. But I like being able to have 3 colors. I don't use a specific system for the colors. The point is just to make the pages just more interesting for me to look at. So the more color that there is, the more I'm drawn to it. And if I break up just chunks of text or different tasks into different colors that are next to each other, I kind of identify them as separate more so. See, this is what I'm talking about with you got to trick your brain with bright colors and easily accessible systems so that you don't get bored or lose track of what you have set out to do. In addition to the pens, I have recently begun using stickers. That is because for this month here in January in the sticker club, which is the Lunchbox Club, which you can sign up for over at patreon.com/artbytuna, I am doing a planner sticker kind of theme design. So I've done 3 different sticker sheets. One is sort of a general planner/calendar sticker sheet. One is for self-care and one is for chores. So those are all for people in my subscriber Lunchbox clubs. And then I was kind of like, what if I just use these stickers? Because I cut them out here at home as tests. And yeah, it turns out I got myself addicted to planner stickers. So I will probably be stocking up and or designing more. But again, remember, go to patreon.com/artbytuna now until the end of January if you want to get this sticker pack, maybe. Support the channel. And this is probably a good time to squeeze in the information that I actually don't carry my planner around. This lives here at home on my desk. It does make scheduling on the fly complicated, but I have like a backup 5th system where I have a to-do list app on my phone that has a widget, so it's on my homepage, and I just tap on it, and anytime I have a thought about anything, this could be like an idea for art or something somebody tells me, like recommend me like a movie to watch. But then also, if I make a plan with somebody, I'll write it down there, and then as soon as I get home, I'm transferring it onto the physical paper. And again, don't criticize me because this works perfectly. I'm a very, very well organized person. But that's it for the physical stuff. Just a few stickers, just a few pens. Let's talk about the digital. All right, so here we are in my Google Sheet. Now, as I mentioned, this is like my yearly record and overview of everything that I have to do in the year. So this is kind of like my month-to-month priorities. And this serves more as a, like I said, record than something that I'm checking every single day or something like that. So it helps me remember stuff that might be coming in the distant future. As you can see, I have not planned that far in advance for this year, kind of rolling with it this time around. But this month at a glance includes my Patreon themes. It's any major shop drops or projects, deadlines, releases, stuff like that, all of the conventions that I'll be attending, and then yeah, anything personal that I might consider to be time consuming. I have a tab down here that is all about keeping track of my market applications. So on the right here, I have all of the markets that I'm thinking about. I have the ones I've been accepted to in the middle, and then on the left, a record of when I applied to certain shows, because I have to go through my emails to like find this information sometimes, and it's best to know if I have dates for roughly when these emails might be in my inbox. I also have a tab here for commissions, but I'm actually trying not to do any commissions this year, or like way less than usual, so there's nothing here right now. And then a tab for Patreon themes where I'm keeping track of all of the rewards that I'm sending out just to make sure that nothing gets too repetitive, and again to have a record of what I have sent out over the course of the year. And then I have my financial tab, and this is very placeholder and kind of funny right now because it only has a estimate of the amount of money that I might probably make a gross on Patreon and a few other things logged in. But yeah, this is my gross revenue tracker over the course of the year, and we want to get this number a little bit higher by the end of the year. That's usually the plan. I'll just tab over real quick to my 2025 one so you can see a little bit more what a fully filled out one might be. So here is my month at a glance completed with a record here of all the markets that I did, and so on and so forth. I also have my markets tab more filled in so you can see kind of as I go. I have green ones on the left for accepted, gray is I had to bow out on my own accord, red is rejected, and then here in the middle the color coding was just I think regarding whether it was like local or not. And then yeah, this is as I whittle down the list of applications and add more ideas for markets that I might want to apply to in the next year. Here's my commissions tab, a little bit redacted, sorry about that. So this is a record of all the commissions that I do, and this is really important. When I am taking commissions, nothing is more time consuming than managing commissions because I take them all pretty far in advance. I sort of book up the year usually sort of in one go. Kind of why I am not taking so many commissions this year. Here we have the Patreon, which I didn't even fully fill out. As you can see, there's the December information is missing, and then my financials tab also heavily redacted, but yeah. So up next, here we are in Notion. Now the first thing I want to say is that I'm not really that jazzed on Notion right now. Like I switched to it kind of right before they started pushing all this AI tool nonsense, and it's really insufferable. So if anyone else has a favorite digital journal that they like to use that's maybe similar to this, Let me know, leave your suggestion in the comments, because I'm definitely willing to move as long as it's relatively similar to the way that this is set up, maybe with a really good phone app. That would be helpful. So I use my Notion as like a general journal. I have various tabs here. So this is sort of stuff that's related to work this year. And then here's, for example, where I would write the script for this video. But the main thing that I wanted to show you is my weekly to-do list. I only just started this in October, but I would usually be doing these on paper in the past. So I'm kind of glad that I now have them as a digital record, because I would literally do them on paper and then throw the paper away. And now I have more of kind of a running record, as you can see. So my method here is just, as I have tasks to fill in, I'll usually sort of, if I know that they need to be done right away, I'll just add them right into a week. And if I know that they're not, you know, urgent, then I'll add them into kind of a pool here at the bottom that I'll slot in as I have time and space. I generally try and do the 4 weeks of the month at the beginning of the month, because I usually have a pretty big list of what I need to do in the month that obviously will get added to, but I can start by slotting in each week to where I think those tasks will fit. But again, we've got a fluid system here, so anytime that I don't finish something in the week, I just move it forward to the next week, or maybe I'll leave it open, like kind of an unassuming, like it's staring at me and I know I need to check it off, so I'll remember that it needs to be done pretty urgently once I'm kind of late. But what I love the most about this is that satisfying little check. You get a little check, a little dopamine, a little good boy energy right to the brain. So I'm definitely really liking how this is working out for me so far. It's terribly inelegant, so if there's a more elegant system anybody wants to suggest, I'm totally willing to hear. But I do like, I've used other to-do software where when you check something off, it kind of disappears. But I do like that this keeps a running record of everything that I've done, because if I ever ask myself like, oh, did I do that? I can go back here and be like, yes, it's checked off. That means I did it. I don't have to worry. I think that's the main thing about planning systems, is that what you want to do is be able to take all of the information out of your mind so that you have it written down in places that you know that you can trust. So that frees up space in my head to think about current projects, to think about whatever it is that I'm focusing on right now, and not trying to remember all of this other stuff because I've already downloaded it onto words. So as I mentioned before, this to-do list is what I am transferring into this little guy, and I'm doing that usually on a Monday morning. That's my preferred planner day. Some people plan on a Sunday, but the thing about a Sunday is like, I don't want to end my weekend like thinking about work. I want to end my weekend like playing Animal Crossing in bed. So I start my week off with planning, and it makes me feel really prepared for the week that I have ahead. Now this is kind of interesting, because as I've been preparing for this video, I noticed something about my planning system that I'd never really kind of thought of before, which is that it's very repetitive. I have basically doubled up a system so that depending on the mood that I'm in, I'm able to kind of cross-reference anywhere that's convenient for me. And I think by rewriting the information in several places, it's just really helping to drive that, you know, knowledge that it needs to be done home. But that's the cool thing about planners, is that there are no rules, and literally whatever works for you is the best system that you could possibly use. But I do think it's very inspiring to see what other people are doing, so that I'm sharing with you here so that you can think, oh, maybe that would work for me. I'm gonna buy some Frickson pens because they're really cute. But before we wrap it up, I actually posed to folks online, some of my friends and communities that I'm in, if they wanted to share their planning system a little bit so that we could just get a taste of what other people are doing, and I'm just obsessed with the spectrum. Let's start with a couple of these clips and then I'll show you some more.
Hello everybody, my name is NK and I make and design iron-on patches from my home. And here is my 2026 journal system. This is all Hobonichi because I love their style, and this is the 2026 Tamagotchi collaboration. It's so cute. They've got a custom Tamagotchi and you got poop. So here I am working on 3 journals for the year because I'm a crazy person, and there's a tuna art right here. Wow, look at that. And basically this is the week's insert. So it just shows a summary of every week. And what I do is I will pencil in future events. I will write down something for every day, basically, whether it's a super duper brief thought, whether I want to yap a lot, in which case it gets moved to this journal. The last year I was dealing with a lot of stress and memory issues, so this is going to be my way to at least have something for every day so that there's not weeks of my life that are just completely blank because I was dealing with a lot at the time. And then this is my little work journal. So this is my year at a glance. Once an event has been confirmed, I'll just mark it down here. This is the title. It just lets me see how busy I am, keep myself from getting overworked. And then I was doing this little list format for prospective events or events that I wanted to sign up for. And then I realized I was just writing the same thing over and over and over again, so I made a chart. This is the title of the event, this is all the information for where and when. If I have like specifications on space, whether it's a half table or a full tent, I put it here. This is the vendor fee as well as the due date. This is the application due date, and then these are columns that just basically show my pending status with the market, whether I have applied, been accepted, or waitlisted. And then this one over here is whether the organizer provides tables, chairs, or tents. And this is just so I'm not emailing the vendor multiple times or constantly forgetting stuff and then having to track through emails. It just saves time, energy, and mental health. I hope you guys enjoyed, and thank you, Tuna, for reaching out to their fellow creatives and letting us talk about our organizational systems. So I hope you guys enjoyed this little peek at my brain.
Hey Tuna, this is my planner/planning video. Ever since becoming self-employed, I've had a hard time keeping track of things I need to do, so I just started keeping this little notepad on my table. Some Etsy stuff I need to do, videos I need to edit, emails to reply. As you can see, this video is also on this to-do list, and this is very good for my brain because I like ticking off these little boxes. And to keep track of other stuff, I have this notebook. This is to keep track of my projects, ideas, and upcoming stuff, because I know that if I don't keep track of them, I will simply forget them. And in the future, I do plan to get a big calendar that I can physically write on, just to keep track of any videos that have to come out at certain times. So that's also another thing I have to do. Okay, that's it for this video. Bye. Joink.
Grizz shared their method with me, which is also in Notion, using a monthly, weekly, and daily breakdown, kind of similar to the 3 methods that I use, but laid out a little bit differently. We also have Cheap Sheep, who literally uses Post-it notes and a to-do list. Nothing wrong with that. May introduced me to Microsoft Planner, which is like a, detailed to-do list system. If you're interested in something simplistic like this, definitely go check it out. And on the complete opposite end of the spectrum, Straw Baby shared their planner journal, which is kind of like a bullet journal, where they have a Kanban page for all of their work tasks and also do journaling inside as well. Lastly, and also on the maximalist scale, we have Huge, who has I think this is an Asana board that's really awesome because you can see everything at a glance on one page for yearly, weekly, daily, monthly, etc. All right, everybody, I hope you are feeling empowered after watching this video to make your own planner system as optimal as possible. If you are a planner freak like me, please leave a comment down below. Tell me about your planning system. I would love to hear about it. I just think it's really cool and inspiring to see how people's brains work and how we're translating the many responsibilities of modern life into a manageable chunk. You saw the ad earlier. If you are interested in popping over to the shop, shop.artbytuna.com, picking up some stickers, that would be amazing. And in addition to the stickers, I've got like my stuffed toy that I've designed, I've got patches, I've got a couple of zines. Please go fill a cart. And if you sign up for the mailing list, you get 10% off, so that's also optimal. I've only sent like 1 email so far, so it's not that bad. And then of course, before we go, as always, I'd like to say thank you to everybody over on Patreon in my snack pack, helping to support the channel. These are the people that give me the time in the day to film this on this beautiful sunny day here in Vancouver for once. And as we're watching these names go by, usually I would promote the Patreon, but you guys already kind of saw earlier what I am offering in the Patreon, so I did just want to do like a quick hello, is that if you are a fan of the channel, I'm sorry I haven't been making any vlogs lately. I just we get the ups, we get the downs. I think putting out a little bit of content that's maybe a little bit more curated and not as natural as the vlogs is kind of all I can muster at this time, but the vlogs will be back, I promise. And I just want to thank you for either being a financial supporter of the channel, or even just if you're watching and you actually watch through these credit rolls, like it really means a lot to me. And as we trudge into 2026 together, I just want you to know that I'm good. I hope that you're good, as long as you're doing your best. And even if your best is literally getting out of bed and making yourself a cup of coffee, which I just, as I said that, remembered that I made a coffee before I started filming at all, and it's still half made over there, and now I get to drink a coffee when I'm done making this video, so that's great. Definitely pop over to patreon.com/artbytuna if you would like to get your name on this list, which also includes receiving mailable rewards and all kinds of digital perks. But that's really all that I wanted to say about that. If you have any further questions, comments, concerns, leave them down below. As always, stay sparkly, don't let the cruel world dull your shine, and I will see you next time. Bye.